What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Titans sector. If you're a Titans fan, this is the place to be. The takes are hot, the passion is real, and the opinions are sure to collide, and they very well could on this pod today. As always, I'm Van, and I'm joined over here by my man Ghost. We're excited to bring you another pod from the Titans sector. We got some pretty fun content today and hope that you guys engage and like it. Before we get started, as always, love to remind everybody to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed. It certainly helps us a lot to continue to put out great content to the Titans fan base community. So, without further ado, Ghost, what are we going to be talking about today?
So I'm sure you guys have seen it on Twitter here recently, probably in the past, but a lot here recently. It's been kind of like going around. And we're like, that sounds like a fun idea. So we decided to do a lot of positions from the Titans, and we're going to do start, bench, cut. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up the visuals here. And then we will get to chatting.
This one's going to be crazy, man.
So how we're going to do it is me and Van are going to discuss each position, and we're going to come to, hopefully, some kind of consensus on who we're going to start, who we're going to bench, and who we're going to cut. And the rules are, there are no rules, except we could be like, bias is completely fair. If you really love a player, you're a Mariota guy, and you want to start him, that's completely fair. However it goes is how it goes, and I guess we will start.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you the one thing, and this is a good problem to have, right? But it's really interesting. And granted, there's 3 selections here per position group. So you're not talking about a super deep run as far as selections of players, but there are going to be some tough choices made today. And man, it's going to be tough to say the word cut with any of these Titans greats.
It always is, isn't it? It's always super hard to like say.
It is. Yeah. I don't like it. But let's kick it off. So the first position group is the quarterback group, and we've got some good ones up here on screen. This is in the Titans era, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I did not. I mean, there's some bleed overs from the Oilers era, but you'll see the pictures. They're in Titans unis.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, mostly referring to the Warren Moons and, the Ernest Givens and some of our greats that played primarily or completely in their Oilers career, right? So for everybody watching, this is purely, as Ghost said, mostly Titans era, if you will. So, all right, let's start it off with the quarterbacks, and we're going to start with right? So we're gonna try to decide out of these 3. We have Steve McNair, Ryan Tannehill, and Marcus Mariota. So I'll go ahead and kick it off since I'm already rolling here. For me, this one's pretty simple. I would start the only quarterback that took us to a Super Bowl and the only quarterback out of these 3 that won a league MVP, even though he shared it. I would start Steve McNair. That's my choice.
So for me, it's hard because if you really look at it, there's not too much dissimilar from Tannehill and McNair. He's the closest to McNair in our history.
That's true.
Obviously, Marcus Mariota is not a start for me. He won't be a start. But I'm going to agree. Steve McNair, he got us to the dance. Performed. You know what? It wasn't even his fault that we didn't tie it up.
Yeah.
It was somebody made the field longer or something. I don't know what happened. But
yeah,
Steve McNair.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, like, you make a good point, right? You make a good point about statistically, I assume is what you're saying, that Tannehill is the closest to McNair. But I mean, when you look at Steve McNair, I think he had so many of the intangibles plus the tangibles that come with quarterback play. He is 7th all time in our organization with rushing yards. And I mean, that's incredible. Over 3,000 rushing yards in his career as a Tennessee Titan. And like I said, and like you said, Super Bowl MVP. And he was, to me, what even puts him on a different level is his leadership. And his grit. I think Steve was an ultimate leader for the organization. And so, I just think it is a no-brainer for me. Rest in peace, but it's Steve McNair. And you agree, right?
Yes, I agree. You mentioned MVP. It really ticks me off that he got an MVP and has to share it with a Colts quarterback. I oftentimes frequently think about it and just get angry to myself. Like, can't we just have it? Like, come on.
Right? Can't it just be out? Just be
You had
ours.
Peyton Manning for how long? Seriously, got a Super Bowl out of him? We can't just have the MVP?
No, that
All
was
right,
bad. It was a
we can
bad
move
thing.
on. I
He should have
digress.
had it that year by himself. And I think everybody watching agrees. To be honest with you, unless there's a Colts fan watching, and they won't agree. I'd be shocked if they were watching us, though. Let's be honest. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, moving on. You take this one.
All right, man. So we're on to bench and cut. So we have two left: Marcus Mariota and Ryan Tannehill. Um, it's tough when you think about the passion you have for some of these players.
Yeah.
Mariota, man, he just he's just a good guy. You know what I mean? I think we were all sad when he got benched for Ryan Tannehill,
Yeah.
and then it was crazy, man. We were not a good team up to that point in that season, and then kind of turned it around when Ryan Tannehill came out there and AJ Brown started to catch on. Derrick Henry found some kind of groove that he didn't have previously, and then the rest is kind of history.
Yeah.
Playoff appearances, huge victories in the playoffs, knocking off number one seeds and going to the championship games and all that stuff. So I think for me, I got to throw bias and not really bias, but emotional attachment out the window. Yeah. And I got to go with bench Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah. Yeah. It is tough. This is probably to start this thing off. This is a tough one, but I think we're going to have some even harder ones coming up. There's probably going to be some people mad at us on this one, but I'm going to agree with you. I'm just going to say it. I think Ryan Tannehill, and we were talking about this outside recording, but I think Ryan Tannehill gets a lot of slack from this fan base. He gets slack from me as well, at least up here in my memory banks, because the last thing we saw from him hurt like heck.
Mm-hmm.
It was really, really hard. And I hated to see Ryan go out that way, man, with all of the things that happened after that Bengals playoff loss, because I truly think he did some great things for this organization, made some phenomenal plays. Ryan was an athletic quarterback, like Marcus was an athletic quarterback. I think more people looked at Marcus coming out of Oregon as the more athletic of the two. But I mean, Ryan was a former wide receiver at A&M. So, I mean, they have similarities in regards to that. But man, those eras, those years when Tannehill was leading the team, we were really dangerous on offense. We were really explosive. We had that play action game going. The one argument that could be made in my mind, if we were arguing with one another here, would be did Marcus have the same skill level around him on offense during his years? That could be maybe argued, but if we got to make a decision, I say bench Ryan Tannehill, and that means we're cutting Marcus. That means we're cutting him. That was rough, man. That was rough. They outlawed that move. You can't do that anymore.
No, that's a slow one. It's like that. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'd like to see somebody get away. Yeah. So you feel good about this?
Yeah, and you mentioned the Bengals game. So with Ryan Tannehill in the Bengals game, that was a tough way to see him go out and to see how bad it impacted him after, especially knowing that coaching did not pick up on the fact that he was not on his game, and they kept trying to feed Derek, who was clearly not ready, when Foreman clearly was.
Yeah.
and they went away from Foreman. That second pick happened in the red zone.
Yep.
When right after that 60 whatever yard run by Foreman. And you kind of wonder what would happen if they would have kept running on that drive. You know what I mean? That it builds some momentum the other way. I think about that a lot.
Yeah, I do too. I blame some of that, I think, on Vrabel's pride, and I don't know if that's the case, but, Vrabel was a player's coach, and obviously he had his guys, and obviously we had our guys, and Henry is King Henry. And it's tough as a coach, right? It's tough to make that call on a fourth down to say, put the backup running back in, because if it goes bad, then what's the real noise going to be outside of that stadium, outside of that game, compared to, just Derek couldn't make it. Yeah. I get it. But we'll never know what could have been, right? Because it is what it is.
Where we at? But start McNair, bench, Tannehill, cut Mariota. And that's where
I'll just say before we move on to the next one, I want everybody to understand watching this that cutting Marcus doesn't mean that you and I don't appreciate what he did here. I didn't expand on what Marcus did. I know Marcus had a lot of amazing things he did, and you mentioned on a couple of them. I mean, the dude threw a touchdown pass to himself. I mean, that's pretty killer, you know?
You did that?
Yeah, but Marcus was a very high draft pick, and I don't think in hindsight he really lived up. And there's more. There's more to that. It's the
Mhm.
organization's fault as well. I don't think he lived up to the bill in his time with Tennessee. So I love him. I think he's great.
I
We're
still
cutting him.
love him.
Yeah, absolutely. I still do. He's great.
I liked him at every stop, rooting for that guy ever
Yeah,
since. Just in this scenario, one's got to go, and
one's
that's
got to
I
go.
think that's why this is so interesting, isn't it?
It is.
So
All right,
we'll
what's
move on.
next? I can only imagine what's coming next.
Running backs.
Oh, oh, I'm glad you put this one early, kind of, but kind of not. It hurts.
This is a tough one to do for the Titans. I mean, it's just,
I don't want to do this.
it's tough.
All right, here's
man.
my answer. Here's my answer. Start them all. 3-man backfield. Start them all. Line them up. Let's go.
Start them all. Let's go.
We're going to roll in the old triple option.
All right, man.
I started the last one. You got to start this one. I don't want to.
All right. If we're talking about start, we are in the playoffs. Oh my God, dude. It's so hard. Every time I look up at the screen.
Yeah. I don't even want to look at them.
God damn.
Well, you know what? Everybody's watching real life toil.
Do you have one in mind? Because I don't even have one in mind. Let's do a 1, 2, 3 and say the name.
I don't even know. I've been sitting here toiling the whole time. We can do that.
All right. On my 3 finger. You ready?
All right, I'm ready.
Eddie George.
Derrick Henry. Oh, man. Oh, I knew it.
All right.
This is where it's going to start right here.
This is where it's going to start.
All right. Talk to me about Eddie George. Talk to me.
All right. This is my bias speaking, I think. I've talked about him on pod before. He brought me to the Titans. I feel like it was his mentality that made Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry made Derrick Henry, but there was that speech from Eddie George that we all know unlocked Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry admitted himself. I think that Eddie George, it's like Mamba mentality with Kobe. Eddie George had an Eddie George mentality that he kind of like helped spread through the team. Like he was a culture even after he was long gone. That's why I got to say Eddie George.
Okay. All right. So we got to do this. We're doing it. We got to do it. We got to live in it. And this is horrible with this one. It's just terrible. I got over here. I have a signed Eddie George jersey in my room. So that's how much, and I got an Eddie George helmet and a Henry helmet. I got them all. But anyway, how many 2,000-yard rushing seasons did Eddie George pull for us? Yeah. Yeah. Right. And that's not to mention, we got 2 guys on the graphic that did. We got a guy on the right that neither one of us mentioned that has I think the record still for,
over 2,500 yards.
Over 2,500 yards in a season. Eddie took him to a Super Bowl as well, right? And Eddie was longevity. I don't disagree with you on any of that, but man, Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry was number 1 in our post McNair and George rankings. So clearly we both think very highly of him. This has to be the best picture I've ever seen you choose for any graphic on our pod. As you see Norman flying out of the way. I think that the argument I would make is that I believe that at their peak, Derrick Henry was more dominant as a running back, purely standing alone, than Eddie George. I think Eddie was consistent. Eddie was gritty. Like you said, the Mamba mentality, him versus Ray Lewis, he set the tone for the whole team. But I don't know if he carried the team. Because he had McNair. He had the best quarterback that we just chose start.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say a better quarterback than Henry had. Henry's best quarterback here was, we just discussed it, Tannehill.
He's on the bench.
Huh?
He's on the bench.
Yeah, he's on the bench. I don't know. So I don't know, man. This one's gonna be tough. Eddie is a legend. This is gonna be hard. You'll have to do something else. We got to come to a consensus here. Somebody has to
All
convince
right.
somebody.
Here it is.
Okay.
I'm going to take my bias out of it. And I am going to concede
Wow.
that Derrick Henry was like a serious closer.
Yeah.
Fourth quarter, you needed a win. You handed it to Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Eddie George couldn't be that at times, but it was like it was like beyond just like, oh, maybe he will. Like you kind of knew he would during those years. You know what I mean?
I agree.
I'm gonna concede as much as it pains me, and I not that I feel bad about starting Derrick Henry. Let's be honest, it's not a bad starter.
Yeah,
But
no.
we do have to come to a consensus, and I do think that your point of he is one of our 2K rushers. Like I can't remember what it's at now. It's probably at 9 or 10 2K rushers all time, which is still an extremely small number of people to do it.
It is, yeah.
He's a unicorn, man, and he's still doing it. I think he's going to beat Emmitt Smith's record. I think he can do it 100% as long as the Ravens keep using him. So I think there's a chance that he becomes the best running back of all time. So
Yeah.
not sneeze at that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And I won't pound the drum much more, but you know, as you were talking, I was thinking to myself, that we're talking about somebody that's going to be a shoo-in for the Hall of Fame. I think Eddie should be in the Hall of Fame. He's not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Derrick for sure when
for
he
different
retires.
reasons, right? I think the reason why he's not there is some of the statistical shortcomings sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back part of his career, he was like down around 3.5 yards per carry. So
yeah, but Derrick also, look how many 200-yard rushing games he had for us.
I know, dude.
You know, so when he took over, he would take over, and it was like the whole game. It was 4 quarters. You know, you just knew he was going to break it off. So, all right, you conceded. I'll give it back to you at some point. I know it's coming. So, all right, now let's go to bench cut, which also is going to just kill me. Well, look, we're looking at 3 of the 4 Mount Rushmore running backs. I mean, I don't even like to say that with these guys. It's even worse than the quarterback thing. I'll talk about both of them. You know, we just talked about Eddie. I love Eddie. Eddie had the chant. Eddie had the fan base. He was the first since Earl Campbell, right? He was drafted out of Ohio State. You know that very well.
Go Bucks.
Yep, he was the running back that was the face of our franchise with McNair when we came to Tennessee. There's so much tied to Eddie, you know. CJ, I'll talk about him. He's electric. You know, I talked about it in our top 10 pod when he was on. It was like watching Michael Jordan on the field. It was unbelievable the plays he could make, but he was just on so much worse teams. And you got to wonder, like, how would we look at CJ? Not just we, but nationally, right? As far as like the entire NFL fan base, how would we look at CJ 2K if he was on good teams with elite quarterback play, with Titans teams like Derrick had, or like Eddie had, that could make a run in the playoffs? And that was just not the case. I mean, regardless, it just wasn't the case with CJ.
Yeah,
so
1, maybe 2.
Yeah. So I think I know which way I'm leaning. I think I know which way you're going to lean. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. So I think the hard thing for me here, it is a little biased because it's emotional. I would bench Eddie George. I'd cut CJ 2K, and that's just blasphemy. I think it's just terrible.
I agree. I think purely based on their body of work without inflating anything on hopes and dreams of having a team. He did what he did with his teams, and CJ obviously did what he did with his teams. It ends up being emptier if the team doesn't like ascend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, no, I agree.
Last point I'll make about this, because I pray to God that Marcus and CJ don't watch this pod ever.
This might be the toughest page of the whole thing.
Yeah, this is the worst one we've ever done. But last point I'll make about this is CJ had the smash and dash, right? He had Lindell White for a few years. Lindell was, in my regard, and this might be a hot take to some, he was a bit of a disappointment to me.
Hmm.
But when he was playing well for a couple of years, CJ was able to rest a bit. That kept him fresh in the games, I think, for some of his explosive plays. Obviously, the 2,500 season, he was the bell cow. But like CJ just didn't have the longevity that Eddie had and with our franchise. Now, again, that may not be his fault, but he didn't. And so, Eddie was always the bell cow. He was always the guy back there. There was just
Hmm.
nobody else on those teams with Eddie George. So it's Eddie bench. That's it.
It's tough. I'm
Let's get
gonna
away. Let's get away from this graphic. I'm tired of
I'm
looking
gonna
at this.
DM him immediately after and apologize.
I'm sorry for what I said. You're not going to see
Sorry.
it.
I love the Buckeyes. And I also
All right,
love the
so moving
Titans.
on to one that's a little more comfortable for me is the wide receiver group. Start, bench, cut. We've got AJ Brown, Derek Mason, and Drew Bennett. Drew Bennett, which hey, before the white wide receivers were popular, you know what I'm saying? Drew was there, man.
He's killing it.
He was carrying the torch for our guys.
Look at him, man.
I know.
Who would have guessed that is a very good wide receiver?
You could have served Thanksgiving dinner on those shoulder pads. Look at those things, man. My Lord, what they used to play in. All right, so you start us off on the start here.
Mm, it's tough. This is a tough one, also. But I think, as far as starters are concerned, I feel like AJ Brown. Man, it's so hard. Some of these OGs, man. Um, I think I would choose to start AJ Brown purely based on he just like is a Titan. You know what I mean? To me, like in the short time we had him and what he could have been and was with the Eagles, he just like big, strong, fast, physical. And we talked about it. You just go see it on TikTok. The Ravens flock nevermore.
Yeah, yeah,
Just dragging people in the end zone, man.
yeah.
And those moments with him, dude, like that one-handed, like kind of like side catch. I think that was the Bengals game that like Tannehill just bloop, like right on
Oh,
the
it's
dime.
crazy. It's
Such a
crazy.
crazy catch. Um, I love Derek Mason too, but I would start AJ Brown for sure, man. He was just an elite athlete.
All right. Well, this one's tough for me, but I'm going to agree with you. I know it's not going to be the best material here for entertainment, but I'm going to agree with you. It was really hard between Derek and AJ. Derek had by far the longevity card played, and also he has the statistics. To be
Hmm.
honest, right? So, man, if there's people out here watching that are going to disagree with us, this one's a pretty easy one to disagree on, I think. But
Hmm.
AJ Brown for me, the longevity thing kills it a little bit because we cut him so early, right? We cut ties, which we all know, and we shouldn't have, but we cut ties with him and moved on. But as far as like the total package, if I'm looking at a wide receiver and I'm saying, man, I want this guy to start on this team, like we're building a Titans team,
Hmm.
then AJ Brown has the whole package, and he did in those years with us. You mentioned it, and I talked to you before we started recording that one play in Oakland where Tannehill was in the end zone, got slammed right in the face and threw it to midfield about 50 yards to AJ Brown. It was a phenomenal throw, first off, but AJ was a total package. He really was. He had the physicality, he had the speed, he had the hands, he had the high point, and he was easily wide receiver one on those teams. People grew to fear playing the Titans wide receiver room, and you felt kind of similarly with AJ as to how you thought defenses were squaring up for Derrick Henry. You know,
Hmm.
so it's like you knew that the line and the secondary, as far as linebackers, the second line of defense, that they had to queue up to stop Derrick Henry. But then we had AJ Brown, and you're like, man, the secondary's got a plan for this guy.
Their play action was
So
deadly.
deadly, absolutely deadly. So I'm gonna agree with you. Let's start AJ Brown. Let's move on to bench cut. What do you got?
Bench and cut, two legends of the game. For me, it's this one's a little easier. I think more the nostalgia for me. D Mace, man. D Mace
Yeah.
is going to be my bench, and then Bennett's going to be my cut.
Yeah, it's the same with me. Derek Mason, it's easier. This one's easy for me because first off, Derek Mason had longevity, has the stats. He had an incredible career with the Tennessee Titans, and he's an incredible wide receiver.
That also got taken by the Ravens. Just another one that they took from us. So
I know. I was hoping. I really didn't want to mention that, but here you go.
Sure.
Yeah, well.
You know me.
I know.
Mouth just happens.
Drew was so much fun to watch on some of those really horrible years that we had, and he had really subpar quarterback play. He really did. He really did. And that one, what was it, 2004 season, I think. But man, that one season was ridiculous. He looked like a white Randy Moss out there. I was like, who is this guy? And he really did it. He had some great years for us. But yeah, for me, this is simple. Derek Mason, he was closer to the start conversation than he is to the cut conversation by a mile.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sorry, Drew. We got to cut you. And we're benching Derek.
You ready for the next slide?
Probably not.
O-line.
Oh, okay. This one's good. Am I starting this one?
Yep. Let's do it.
All right. So, man, this is another position group that we've been pretty blessed in this organization to have some absolute legends and beasts play. And Bruce obviously played for the Oilers and finished his career as a Titan. He played his entire career with the Titans, as did Lawan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, 3 really tough choices here for me. And if nobody can tell watching this is almost a surprise to me. All of these slides are almost, that's so much time I put into thinking about this. I'm going to have to say you start Bruce Matthews. That's where I'm at. And here's why. I think his longevity with the organization, his longevity in regards to his availability, his health, being healthy, starts all the games he started, and he went through both organizations. He was a merge like McNair and like Eddie George, but Bruce is a Hall of Famer, hands down. Hands down, a Hall of Famer. Comes from
all across the line, by the way. He wasn't just a left tackle.
Exactly.
And he was a long snapper.
Yes.
Do everything.
Yeah, he was versatile.
Sure I remember hearing on a broadcast that he was also a backup punter, which blew my mind.
Oh my God. I would have loved to see him kick a ball.
To the moon, bro.
Hang time elite. Yeah. And the last thing, he comes from a very NFL legendary family, the Matthews family. They go way back, Clay Sr. So anyway, I'm starting Bruce. Tough choice for me between him and one other, but I'd start Bruce. What about you?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for me because Bruce was in a time where my fandom, even as Titans Oilers, was in its infancy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like my fandom of football, I was still figuring it out a little bit. You know what I mean? Towards the Titans there and stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love to watch it, but I was still asking questions and stuff at times. It wasn't till probably high school when I was like, I get this. I love this a lot. And that's when I really started like watching and reading news and consuming the content and all that. But I think the Hall of Fame is the thing that puts him above the rest. You'd be kind of silly to not put it there. Like you said, longevity, versatility. He's the total package. So I think I would agree.
Okay.
The next part will be interesting, though. The benching got to be interesting to see where you go on that one.
All right. So we're starting Bruce. Yeah?
Start on Bruce.
Okay.
Yeah. Consensus.
All right.
Already.
So bench cut. I'm going to let you expand on this. I'm going to keep it pretty simple for me. For me, I'm benching Taylor Lewan, and I'm cutting Michael Roos. And so the reason why I'm benching Taylor Lewan is because for me, Taylor was like the epitome of a Titans offensive lineman. He dealt with injury concerns, but he had that dog in him, man. Every single week, he had that dog in him. And I said this on our top 10 pod, but I just love the guy's swag and his attitude. I mean, it was like a wide receiver's attitude in an offensive lineman's body. And I knew that every single week he was going to come and he was going to lay it all on the. You felt like watching Taylor Lewan, the guy would die on the 50. Like you literally felt like he would die on the 50 for his team. And he'd just be like.
During the Dolphins game when he got blindsided.
I mean, well, there you go.
Lights
validated my point. Yeah. But, he was somebody that, again, with our organization, the longevity, you could argue with availability, but I have a spot, man. So that's my choice. What are you going to tell me?
I got to cut Taylor just by his tattoo choices.
Oh, my God.
Okay, all right, get it. It's these two, man. So Michael Ruse, just a cornerstone of that line for a very long time. High performing, very very good O lineman, consistent, healthy, all that good stuff. For me, I think I got to disagree. I think I got to bench Michael Ruse and cut Taylor Lewan. And it's hard because people are like, oh, you don't like Taylor Lewan? No, I do like Taylor Lewan. But he was not always dependable. And sometimes when we needed him to be dependable, had some penalty troubles, had some injury troubles, shortened career. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure he might have had a bad surgery or something like that. That kind of like the healing process wasn't great for him or something like that. But he had the suspension. Who knows what happened behind the scenes with that?
Yeah.
I got to go Michael Ruse.
Well, I think the easy thing for me here would be to concede, and then we'd be square, right? We would be square. We'd be square at this point.
You owe
me. Michael is he's a great offensive lineman. He really was. Like you said, he was steady. He was a stalwart there on that offensive line. I'll give it to you. And that puts us square. So now we're back. You made that look. You made valid points. I mean, I even made one for you, which was the injury concerns.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't necessarily agree. Okay, so look, Taylor, if you're watching, homeboy, man, I picked you on the bench, but I picked you. But we're gonna have to.
He also put Cam Moore in the top 10 since the OGs. But
I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate that at all, man. Okay. I wasn't prepared for this.
All right.
So we're benching Michael.
Bruce Matthews.
Cutting Taylor.
Benching Michael Ruse.
All right. Just remember, we're square. We're square. We're all square now.
All right, man. This is one of those ones.
You take it.
I think the first two choices are going to be hard. And I think it's easy to try and start Frank Wycheck. I think he's RIP, man. I think he is a pillar of this franchise during some time. You know what I mean? He's got the Super Bowl. But time for me to redeem myself with Delanie Walker after that top 10. I think I would start just on like watching Delanie Walker.
Yeah, well, we're going to agree here because look, without Frank, we wouldn't have the miracle. You know, obviously Lorenzo, Kevin had a pretty easy run. You know, once he hit that sideline, it was just freaking green grass and glory in front of him. But without Lorenzo and Frank throwing that ball, we wouldn't have it. And Frank, I love Frank Wycheck. Who doesn't? What Titans fan doesn't love that guy?
The guy's an animal.
He's a massive. Talk about Thanksgiving dinner on the shoulder pads. You could have the next family over on those things. But Delanie Walker for me was like the prototype of the new athletic, physical. Look at him. Like it's like the AJ Brown thing. He's massive. That's where that guy was. And he was like a wide receiver. You know, you knew that when you got the ball to Delanie Walker, he could explode. You know, it could go to the end zone any given moment. He has all the chops behind him. He's got the Pro Bowls. He has accolades to bring to it. And I don't think Delanie was on the best Titans teams in totality, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But I'd have to start Delanie. He was, to me, and I said this in our top 10 pod, I think he's the best tight end in Titans history. So it'd be crazy for me to say anything other than start.
Absolutely. So if we move on to bench cut, this is a little hard for me because I think when you think of Jonnu Smith, I think to me, he was on an upswing. I think he was like a slowly developing, maybe Chig type. I do not think he's a Frank Wycheck, however. And again, we can't go off of woulda, shoulda, couldas if he would have got to whatever. So for me, bench Wycheck, cut Jonnu.
Yeah, I think these are in order, just like our last one ended up being in order. I think you bench Frank Wycheck and you cut Jonnu. You know, and I think it's pretty obvious to me. You know, Jonnu was fun to watch. There was a lot of times I felt as a fan watching that it was very similar. Like you could throw over the middle to Jonnu on a route and he could take it to the house, and he did numerous times. He was a very athletic tight end, and he was a great tight end on those teams. But I don't think he comes anywhere close to sniffing Wycheck's legacy.
Mm.
And Wycheck was on those again on the team with McNair and George. With all the greats, the legends. We remember them going to the Super Bowl. And Frank he was the guy to me that started it all.
It was a
If we
different
had
era for him too. You know what I mean? Like that era was a different kind of tight end. Like you said, it
it
was
was.
the athletic shift on the tight end position didn't happen yet. They were still heavy blockers.
Yeah, that's an incredible point by you. That probably is one of the best points you can make, because I think if Frank was in a different era, who knows what we would have seen. But in his era, he was an incredible tight end. And I think if we had a Titans tight end university, he's like the freaking grandfather. He's the one that started it all.
Right.
So I'd say bench Frank, and John who's cut by the wayside.
All right. Let's move on to the next.
Okay.
Oh, oh. Just
Here we
another one.
go.
This one might be as bad as the running backs, to be honest with
It's close. It's pretty close. Okay, I'll start us off here. This one's going to probably not be a surprise to anybody that saw the top 10, and maybe not a surprise to you, but I'm starting Big Jeff. I think all three of these guys are dominant defensive tackles, and were dominant in their era, right? With Jeff still playing, the only one that's still active out of all three of these. And there's arguments that could be made probably for every one of these guys to start them based upon their
you.
peak, based upon their era, like we just talked about with Frank.
Mhm.
Albert, man, what a dominant force in his era. We drafted Albert, and he was just like, look at him. He's like a refrigerator. I mean,
Every
not,
time you looked at him on the sideline, it looked like he was trying to decide which O line to eat next time he went out on the field. He
well,
would always pace up and down the line. He's
he
always like
probably was.
staring.
He probably was. But
He's
to me,
horrifying.
Big Jeff is two things for me. He holds a place in my heart, as a fan of the team. I've always liked him as a person. I've liked his who he is to the community, his story. Multiple time Walter Payton Man of the Year award nominee, which says a lot. He's constantly reaching out to our community. He's been on really tough teams. He's been on good teams. He's still a Titan. He just signed an extension, and it's absolutely not an argument how elite his talent is in today's NFL, and I think that says a lot. So I'd start Jeff. What do you got?
So, my first gut was Albert Hainsworth
Okay.
because when he was on our defense, it may have been our best defense in a long time. Like
True.
it was dominant when he was on that line. We had let's see, who was it? Van den Bosch and
Yep.
Kurtz and
Yep.
Chains. You remember the Chains thing, like the no weak links or whatever they
Yep.
used to do. It was a crazy era. I mean, that had to do with coaching too. I mean, what we had Washburn and can't remember his name. He went to the Lions. Was at the Browns. He hates the Browns.
Schwartz.
Schwartz. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that is part of that, which you have to consider. But with Jeff, I have to consider if I consider that stuff for Albert, I have to consider the fact that Jeff hasn't exactly been used how he should be either. Yeah, you know
Agreed.
what I mean. I think the best is yet to come for him. I know we said it, ifs and what ifs and all that. I think it's about to explode for Jeff Simmons, and I think he's about to separate from the pack moving forward. And I'm going to consider that because we have Saleh now, who said he's going to have an attacking defense, and Jeff Simmons is an attacking defensive lineman, and I cannot wait to watch it. And in that defense, I want Jeff Simmons every day, all day.
All right. So you're agreeing.
I will agree. My initial gut was Albert Hainsworth. This is some nostalgic times for me, but
is this a concession or is this an agree?
This is an agree.
All right.
I was just going through my thought process.
That's fair.
When I was first considering all of this.
Yeah.
because at peak, like right now, I think Hainsworth was better than Simmons at peak then.
Yeah.
Than Simmons is now. But I can't disregard the fact that Simmons has been used to eat up double teams and stuff up to this point. You know what I mean?
And you mentioned it yourself with the talent on the defensive line. It would be argued that Hainsworth had a better defensive line than Simmons did.
Oh,
Can you
yeah.
imagine Jeff Simmons with
Absolutely.
Vanden Bosch and Curse on the end? Holy Pete. You know,
Hey, by
so
the way, speaking of Washburn, I'm pretty sure our new D-line coach is a underling of Washburn.
he is. He is, dude. I love that guy. I love that guy. We should do a start bench cut coaching edition.
Maybe.
All right, so let's move on to bench. You know, this one's tough for me as well. I think between these two guys, I think Casey statistically has Hainsworth in his Titans era.
Yeah, that longevity.
Because of longevity as well. Yeah. Yeah, man, this is hard. You know, this might go into my era. You know, I'm not a young man, I'm not an old man, but I'm 43. So I have those memories that you just shared. I'm going to lean. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to go Hainsworth bench, cut Casey.
It is tough, but if I'm considering Hainsworth as a start and I don't go with him as a start, it's going to have to be a bench for Hainsworth. And then it's tough. It's tough. We're going to have to cut Jarrell Casey. But man, what a good history if that's your problem. You know,
if that's your problem. And Casey was elite, man. I mean, we're talking Pro Bowls and we're talking awards as well. This goes back to, like you said, it's almost as bad as Mount Rushmore with the running backs. It's a good problem to have. Anybody watching, let us know if you disagree with these, man. I want to hear your case for Jarrell Casey. Your case for Casey. That's pretty good. But yeah. All right. So we agree on this one. Start, bench, cut. It lines up again the way your graphics are.
Almost didn't. Almost didn't.
It was close. It was close. All right. Let's get these guys. Let's move on.
Are you ready?
Boom. Probably not.
Defensive end, man.
Okay. You start us off.
I think this one's easy.
Me too.
Javon Curse.
Javon Curse. Yeah, all day. All day. You can't have a guy named the Freak and not start him.
Yeah, rookie of the year. Beast. Left, came back and was still a beast. Come on. Let's do it. Start Javon Curse.
I love your whole approach. Is like, what's there to talk about?
Send the pod.
Good night, everybody. Yeah, look, I love Javon. He is probably my favorite Titan of all time.
You've met him.
I have met him
last month, right?
Yes. I took my boys to.
Looks like he could suit up now.
He does. I took my boys to a memorabilia signing event that he held. I'd never met him. It was a dream of mine to meet him. And two of my boys went with me. And I swear, when he got out of the truck, we're on the sidewalk waiting. And when he got out of the truck right in front of us 6 feet, I'm like, this guy, he's massive, his hands, right? And I'm like, he could literally play right now. And such a kind guy, sat there and talked to us, you know, so nice to my boys. And I'm sure all of these athletes would be, but I love Javon, have a spot. And like I said, probably my favorite Titan of all time. And that says a lot, but yeah, start Javon. There's no question here. None at all. Move on. Absolutely. What do you got on this next one?
Bench and cut. So, man, look, you can see him. If it wasn't for being 80 pixels, you could see the red eyes in Vanden Bosch. Was that not cool?
It was the best.
Dude, he was an intimidating guy. When I think of Harold Landry, I think of somebody who got a big payday. I think of a Vrabel guy. He was fine. He was a 10-sack guy when he was playing pretty consistently. But I got to lean towards Vanden Bosch as my bench and cut Harold Landry. Just because, I don't know, that Vrabel stuff kind of like leaves a sour taste in my mouth. He was good, but I mean, I don't think when I think Titans, I think Harold Landry.
You know 100%. No, it's a great point. I agree with you. Here, man. Kyle was just epic, you know, as you can see there, like you said, the red contact lenses on game day. I I loved that, man. That thing was insane. It was so intimidating, and I just couldn't wait to see Vanden Bosch and see those contact lenses. That guy had an aura about him. And he was a tough guy, and he was really good at his position, both in pass rush and in run defense.
Hmm.
He had versatility there in that, and obviously, he was on an elite defensive line. You made a
Elite
great
name
point.
too, by the way. Elite
Say,
name, by the way.
oh yeah,
Vanderbilt.
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. He's got the van part, man. I love that. Uh, I agree. Harold Landry's still playing. Harold was a great player for our team, and like you said, consistent. But and maybe this is a shot. I couldn't agree with you more. I don't think about Titans players and think the ones that I either really, as a fan, loved, enjoyed, rooted for, couldn't wait to watch. I don't ever think of Harold. I hate to say that. I don't know why. I never do. I don't think he ever really stood out to me as somebody like as a defensive, as an edge player, right? Because I think his position was really outside linebacker, but
Hmm.
he was always in the dirt. And as an edge player, I wasn't watching the Titans feeling like, man, Harold's going to make a play here. It wasn't like you knew something was going to happen.
A little
And
one trick pony, also.
yeah, yeah. So all right, so we both agree on this one, and they're
Yeah,
lined up
down
same
the
way.
line.
That one's not tough. All right.
Here we are.
All right. I'm going to start us off. So, linebacker off ball edition. Man, Mr. Monday Night is the king of the mountain with Titans linebackers to me.
He's
He is head and shoulders above any other
For
linebacker.
me, he's like up there in defensive players. So not just
Oh,
linebackers. I mean,
yeah.
he's one of my favorite all time.
Yeah, that's a great point. He has an incredible podcast, by the way. So if anybody watching this hasn't seen his
Bullseye view.
podcast, check it out. Yeah, Bullseye View is phenomenal. But Keith was amazing. Keith had it all to me. He was athletic, he was tough, he had the swag, he brought the red gloves in. He was the
Mhm.
OG red glove guy.
Always had his
Um,
helmet like hanging off his head a little bit,
yeah,
and flexing on like Monday night.
every time. Mr. Monday Night, you knew he was going to play. You knew he was going to show up. He was going to make plays for the defense. Yeah, it's Keith Bullock's start. What about you?
I agree. I definitely agree. I don't know how. I was surprised when I was looking up the linebackers for the Titans. It's surprising how many good ones we had that didn't stick. And I just think it was the time, the GM
Yeah.
we had. Um, it's kind of crazy to think about. And so it was hard to like when I looked at all of the linebackers, there was none I was attached to, like Keith Bullock or seen play at a level of a Keith Bullock. There's very few players I've seen play at a level of a Keith Bullock. You know what I mean?
Very true. Very true.
So yeah, I mean, I think you're crazy if you don't start Keith Bullock.
Okay. I do too, which I'm glad neither one of us
Yeah.
have lost our minds. So
Yes.
it's good. All right. So moving on. So bench cut. So now we're flanking here on images. We got Wesley and we got Stephen Tulloch. For me, I'm benching Stephen. I think that Stephen didn't start his career as a starter with the Titans, but he ended it with a big bang, in my opinion. He was at the time, he was one of my favorite Titans
Yeah.
in his era. He was somebody that I felt like was moving into that shadow of saying, hey, I'm another great Titans linebacker. He was a solid tackler. You could count on him at times for turnovers. And I just loved the guy, man. I really did. I thought he was a great player on a defense that wasn't always so great at times, and he was reliable. Wesley, I like Wesley, but I kind of think of personally, I think of Wesley Woodyard like I think of Harold Landry.
Hmm.
So, everybody just heard me say that about Landry, so I'm not going to repeat myself, but that's how I feel about Wesley. Yeah, I would go bench Steven, cut Wesley. What do you think?
It looks like we just agreed again, to be honest with you. I think I have a different reasoning.
Okay.
I think because Stephen Tulloch came in and earned his spot and played at a pretty high level, and man, he look at him. That dude he punched up, man. He did not care, and I love that about him.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a pack, man. Look at him.
He was all over the field, though. He was fun to watch. He was always hearing his name called on the field. Pretty high performer, considering like what he was working with in the NFL. Wesley Woodyard, good leader. I think he filled a spot that he needed while he was here. Kind of felt expendable like the entire time. It kind of felt like, like if he was here or not.
Yeah.
But was he a good player? Yes. Was he solid? Yes. But like you said, the Harold Landry comparison is pretty much how I feel as well. It's kind of like a sour taste in my mouth for that time. So bench, Stephen Tulloch, cut, Wesley Woodyard.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is, we put out a post on our X account this week about who is the greatest linebacker in Titans era history. And there's two guys that we had on that list that aren't on this graphic, which are Avery Williamson and David Thornton. So just a shout out, both really good linebackers for this organization as well.
Absolutely. Move on to our cornerbacks.
Okay.
I think we're going to agree on start. I think we're going to agree on start again.
What do you got?
So on 3?
Yep.
Samari
roll.
Yeah.
There it is. All right.
There it is. I just had a feeling. I mean, he might be the best corner we've ever had. I don't know.
I think he is.
With that. So, yeah, Samari roll. So then we're on to bench or cut of these two. And I think I'll throw in Werner. I think his peak was better than not the whole, but like any peak Cortland Finnegan had. But I think Cortland Finnegan, for me, would be my bench because of the longevity of that guy as a Titan, the moments he gave us, the way he played the game. Cortland Finnegan is my bench and cut, Alter on Werner.
You scared the crap out of me just then. I just want to let you know when you started that way, I was putting the gloves on. I was back here strapping up. I'm like, I'm about to you're going to agree with me is what I was saying in my mind. I totally agree with this. I think Cortland Finnegan is the bench and Alteron is the cut. All three excellent cornerbacks in their peak at their time for the organization. Alteron did some great stuff for the Tennessee Titans. But yeah, man, Cortland Finnegan in his longevity and again, that dog mentality, he was very similar to me at a corner as Taylor Lewan was on the line. You know, they were both guys that you knew.
He kind of took a hit in that Andre Johnson scuffle, though.
Oh, yeah, he took a big one. Yeah. He took a big one. We still see that. I mean, they've made dadgum like McFarlane figures about that. So, and I hate that for him. But at the same time, you love the dog. You love the dog that was willing to get into that fight to begin with. And I think what Cortland didn't have in regards to maybe athleticism, maybe elite physical skill sets that maybe some other corners of his time did, he made up for in other ways. And he is one of the best Titans I think that we've had in Nashville, to be honest with you. He's up there.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I would say start Samari, who we didn't talk about Samari, but man, what a legend, in my opinion.
I just don't think there's much you can say. He's just awesome. He was just amazing. I remember playing him in NFL Blitz.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Dude, he picked off everything in that game.
That was not very often
you put a player in a video game on the
NFL Blitz was
dominated.
Amazing. That was a great game.
One of my favorite football games of all time.
Yeah, same. Yeah. So, okay, we agree. So we're on a roll, man. I don't know if this is good for viewership, but we're on a roll.
On to the next one. There might be some debate in our final position here.
Is this it? Is this the final one?
This is the final one.
Okay. All right. I want you to lead this one, okay?
All right, man. So I have a feeling that I disagree on start with you. I just have a feeling. I don't know.
Yep.
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Do you want to do the 3 count and see where we're at?
Yeah, let's do it.
Byard.
Blaine Bishop.
I knew it. I knew
it. Yeah, I knew it too.
It's hard, by the way. Blaine Bishop, legend, dude. That's a Titan. For me, again, different type of consuming of football at that time. A lot of it for me was the the big three or whatever you want to say, like McNair, Eddie George, um, and Wycheck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Offense. He's watching offensive. I know now what Blaine Bishop is, but man, watching Kevin Byard at a time when I understood football the way I did, ball hawking guy, lived every bit up to the hype that he set up for himself in college. Two-time All-Pro, Pro Bowler, went on to other teams, just doing the same thing. Where he went to a small college too, right?
Middle Tennessee.
Yeah. So it's just like that chip on the shoulder guy, and just an elite personality, elite characteristics as a person and human being. I think I'm starting Kevin Byard.
All right. Well, it's fitting that we're going to have to end on a consensus, but let me get this out regardless. Okay. So I'm saying Blaine Bishop. And the reason I say Blaine, again, he goes back, and I know the same argument, I'm a bit of a hypocrite here because I started Derrick Henry over Eddie George. All right. But with Blaine Bishop, he has longevity over Byard. Now, he started more games than Byard started in his Titans career. He had 3 less interceptions. And granted, he had more games. He had more fumble recoveries, more forced fumbles. He had Pro Bowls as well. Blaine was there during the great arc of the Steve McNair, Eddie George era. And to me, Blaine, the hitman, Bishop, is an amazing representative of the safety position. Like, again, going back to the grandfather thing, I think he started it there for the Tennessee Titans era organization. He came out of a small college as well. He came out of the scene, I think, a bit unbeknownst to everybody, and just immediately stood out for his physical play. He was an undersized guy in a way at a safety position, but you knew, like, you were watching out for that guy in the middle of the field. If you cross the field, he's going to take your head off. And he was an absolute beast. He's still retired. He's still in the Titans community. He's in media. He's present everywhere. I love, he's one of my favorite Titans. Love Blaine Bishop. Love Kevin Byard. You're not wrong about anything. This is very similar to me than some of our hard discussions earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard to come off, but I'm saying Blaine Bishop starts. So where are we going? What are we doing here? You got to convince me. I guess I don't know if I convinced you, but that's my pitch.
So there's something that you said at the end there that I think means something in this conversation.
Okay.
Because I think the fact that he is now in the Titans community and active, I think statistically, I think it's almost a wash a little bit. I mean, not just like statistically and how they're a little bit different. He's more of an enforcer, and then you got ball hawk and Kevin Byard.
Yeah.
But if I take in the fact that he's like a Titan legend, like an OG Titan legend, I think I'll concede.
Yes. Boom. All right. I'll take it. You can't change your mind now. You've already said it. Can't change your mind.
Still think we should have started Eddie George, but okay.
It's over. Can't rewind the tape.
You should have gave me that concession, just so you know.
You're probably right.
Based on this concession, you should have gave me that concession.
I didn't know this was coming.
It's unfortunate.
I know. It's unfortunate.
All right. So you know what that
agree.
means.
I do. Yeah. Bench Byard is where we're going, right?
Yes. Yep. Have to.
The other thing about Byard, I'll say, is his career is still playing itself out. And granted, I don't know if that matters because his career is not playing itself out with the Titans. He's moved on the Bears. Now he's with the Patriots, which I loathe. And man, he's an excellent player. He really is. I mean, I can't say anything bad about Kevin Byard. You said a lot of good stuff about him. Mm-hmm. But since we agree, it's benching Kevin Byard, I do want to say something about Michael Griffin. Michael, to me, at the time, at the era, in the moment, was one of my favorite Titans. Again, I've said that a lot on this pod, but I said this on the top 10 because he's in my top 10 when we did that pod. But Griffin, I tuned in to watch him on defense, man, every week. He had his own ball hawk thing. He was from UT, University of Texas. I'm a Texan. I'm a Texas native, not a Texas fan, but I enjoy watching that. I watched him in college, and Michael had elite talent, elite skills. I think he is up there in regards to, all players. I mean, I don't know where you put him in top 50 of Titans history, but he's definitely in there. So unfortunately, I would cut him.
Yep. I mean, that's the way it's going to go, obviously. And it's hard. I like the same thing. I love Michael Griffin. Loved watching him. It was a dark time. We were watching him, and he really gave us some highlights in those times, which sometimes didn't translate to wins, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Not his fault, but I just think Kevin Byard and Blaine Bishop are just a notch above him. Maybe even a couple of notches above him in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But all three incredible safeties, and super thankful that we had them on our organization, just like everybody that's been on this list.
Absolutely, man. I'll go ahead and take this off here.
Okay.
And I think it's time to close it out.
That's it. That was a fun one, man.
Yeah, man.
I enjoyed it. That invoked a lot of really challenging emotions for me.
Yeah, especially the running back one. That was tough. The safeties was tough, and
I mean, offensive
those
line.
were the two toughest. The offensive line was pretty tough, but yeah, those two, the safeties, and then the running backs, man. Matter of fact, I'm still feeling emotional about the running back decision.
I know you are. I know you are. And you know what? I look back on it. You're right. I should have conceded that one to you, and I apologize. I do. I apologize.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are. I didn't know. I didn't know the future, man. You know, I thought I was just in the moment fighting.
Wait till you see my DM, Daddy George.
Yeah.
I've got it queued up, bro.
You should, because I guarantee you, when this thing goes live, he's watching it. He's pulling it up on YouTube. He's going to say, my man Ghost betrayed me. It's going to be bad for you. It's going to be bad.
It's sad.
Yeah. You're going to have to send him a gift basket. That's what I think is going to have to happen.
Yeah. Oh, no issue. It's like chocolate covered strawberries in the shape of a block O.
What do you guys do? Dot the I? Isn't that what y'all do?
Yeah, with the tuba.
Yeah,
whatever it is.
Yeah. You'll have to dot the I with like a pineapple on a stick or something. All right. Well, hey, everybody, we thank you guys so much for tuning into our pod today on the Start Bench Cut, man. This one was really a lot of fun to do for us, and we'd love to hear your opinions on our opinions of the Start Bench Cut for these Titans legends. Do you guys think that we got it right? Do you think we got it wrong? Do you think that we completely whiffed and didn't include a player that should have been listed on the three? Right? I mean, did we just totally miss it? We'd love to hear from you guys in the Sector Underground. Let us know your thoughts, both in YouTube comments. You can find us as well on X at The Titan Sector. You can look us up on TikTok under the same name, The Titan Sector. We're active and engaging pretty much everywhere that you guys can find us, and we appreciate your engagement back. So thank you guys so much. Remember to like this video, subscribe, share it with another Titans fan that you don't think has seen our content yet. We'd love to meet them and connect with the community even deeper. We appreciate y'all. For Ghost, I'm Van, and until next time, we'll see you guys.